everyone, good morning where I am, or afternoon, or evening, wherever you are when you're seeing this. For me, it is morning, and I am just kind of easing into my day because my son woke up super early at like 4:30, and so yeah, it has been a morning. So I am starting a new journal. I just got started on this yesterday. And I wanted to show it to you because I think did I already throw this thing away? Hold on. I must have. Okay, so never mind. I'm using this vintage book. This is David Harum, Westcott, apparently. So in the center of this thing, there was some writing, and I used some tracing paper to I laid it on the book and then traced around this shape, and then laid the tracing paper down on here so I could cut out the image from the kit that I'm using, or the papers I'm using, to get that perfect little cutout for the front of the book. So I was happy with that. This book is from 1912. These digitals are, the collection was called Montreal for some reason, and they were part of a club collection that I used to be a part of. The person is no longer in business, so I won't go into that. I won't go into who it is and why and all of that stuff, because it's like complicated. So let's move on. Okay, the book itself, David Harum, a story of American life from 1912. So I think the first thing that I kind of want to do, I've already gotten the pages from the kit that I'm going to put in the book. They're very nice. They're very pretty. We've got lots of flowers, and we've got sort of a wintry feel, and some beautiful watercolory animals. It's really pretty. So now I want to kind of just go through the book itself to like harvest anything out of it that I want to use. I'll start with this because I always keep book spine pieces. If I can detach them, I certainly will. And I also need to remove it to be able to access the signatures. You see that? How the signatures are all there? Yeah, I don't think I can get that side off though. It's pretty tough. So let's just take a look at the first signature. If I can remove it, I will. Just kind of crack it this way. All right, I want to keep, I think, just this book plate. See if it's still attached to its other page. We'll see what is on the other page. There we go. Just looking at what it says on here. Yeah, I don't think I will keep this book page in the book. I will just keep the lovely original. So there's the introduction has this quote. It just seems so simplistic to me that it almost says nothing at all. There's as much human nature in some folks as there's in others, if not more. Doesn't that just feel like the sky is blue, but the sky is blue? Oh my goodness. I gotta give David Harum a break here. Okay. Then I always keep these back pages that are blank because there is literally nothing that feels nicer on the back of a piece of ephemera than this old paper. So I will probably, I don't know if I will keep this as a glue book or not. I have quite a few glue books left over. So then I'm just going to kind of look through it. I know it has this beautiful patina and everything, and it's an old book, but you can't keep all of them because if you saw my studio tour, you would see that I have no shortage of vintage books and that I will continue to buy them because I love them. But you can't keep all of them. And this one, to me, I feel like, well, I like the type and the spacing. It's quite interesting. I don't think I will keep it. I will keep it for a little while, because if I need to use book page for things, I will use this book page. I just had to take a little break because my husband brought me breakfast, and he was oh so silent that it actually scared the crap out of me. He's like, "Oh, you were making a video. I didn't want to be loud." And so yeah, heart attacks aside, I'll set those aside, and then I want to look at what I plan to do here. So I have all of these large sheets, which are very beautiful. I may use them for creating like pockets and ephemera and collaging and all that sort of thing. They're so pretty. So I'm not going to tear into those quite yet. What I think I may do is cut these out. So there are these are like bookmark belly band, you know, whatever you'd want to use them for, and they have these fun like scans at the bottom, scan codes. I'm going to have these pockets, which I'll probably cut those out first. Some larger bookmark style tags. These are like strips, squares, some labels, type shapes, circles, little journal cards, and more paper. Did I already go through these? Yeah, these are the same papers, right? Okay. Look, wait a minute, I'm confused. Like I said, it's early. Alright. I want to start with... I haven't selected the rest of the papers or anything for this journal yet. I'm just kind of going to start working on getting the ephemera cut out. I'm looking for those. See, this is what happens when you just have too many papers on your desk. It's like, where did I put this thing? Oh my goodness, it's right here the whole time. Ugh. Okay. So I'm just going to cut these envelopes out. So I have a nice day planned, I think. I'm going to be going out. I have to pick up an estate auction, and I have maybe a little bit of thriftiness in my blood today. I think I might do a little thrifting and take the children to the playground. I'm also reading this really nice book on my Libby app that I just checked out. It's a wonderful book. I should tell you about it because it's just, I think it's going to be really good. I just got started reading it, but like, it's so good. It's really, really funny. Okay, it's called An Elderly Lady Who Is Up to No Good by Helen Thurston. Yes, it's very good. So I've just started reading it, and it's like this troublemaker kind of elderly lady, and I quite like the writing style, and the humor is really funny. I found it because I was looking at one of my local libraries has an Instagram page, and they were saying like, what is a good book that you've read that you judged by the cover? And one of the women who works there had pointed out that book and gave a little summary of it. So I thought, oh, I have to put a hold on that. I need to read it. It sounds wonderful. And so far, it is quite wonderful. So these are long, so I will just cut them out. I always think, maybe I could use my paper trimmer. And I guess I could do that. Yeah, maybe I will do that. Okay, let me get the paper trimmer out so we can trim up all the bigger stuff. I feel very sniffly today, like allergies. I don't know, I always get allergies at the most weird times, like when I'm not even outside or anything. I'm just, but it happens. There, I'm already looking at how much straighter and nicer this cut is because I'm using this. Okay. And then I have to drop packages off with my courier for local delivery today. So just so you know, if you are someone who lives in the Greater Toronto area and sometimes other places, I have access to a courier with my work that I have a separate account with them, like so that my work doesn't get billed for my personal deliveries. But it often allows me to do like same or next day delivery on things that you buy from my shop if you're close to that area. Because our courier is out anyhow, so he just takes my stuff along because he's a personal friend. So he's really good like that. He'll let me know, like, if he can, when he can take stuff for me. And it's usually the same day or the next day, and because it's at my office, I'm able to get it there pretty quick. So if you buy anything from my shop, and instead of getting a tracking number, you get like a little message from me and a local delivery notification, that is because you are in relatively close proximity to my office. And he always texts me real time to say, hey, I dropped it off between the doors, and he'll like send me a little picture. So okay. I think my daughter will be starting her AGO school down here shortly, so I definitely need to use this bit of time that I have before that begins. Yesterday was a lot of fun. She did a lesson with an artist. I didn't get his last name, but I think his first name was Dwayne or Darnell, and he works at the AGO, and he is like one of the first Black artists to present like an exhibition on the African diaspora at the AGO, and it was really, really good. And he did a lesson on silhouettes and featured 3 other really cool African artists. I wish I'd gotten all their names, but I was like, I was working at the same time she was doing her virtual school, but I was just trying to listen in, but I did have a meeting in the morning. But they were really cool artists, and one did these beautiful silhouettes of like women in various stages of like motherhood, and it was really beautiful. Just these like silhouettes of like, women who are pregnant and breastfeeding and holding their children. It was really beautiful. Then he taught her about they did their own drawing of a spider for Halloween, a silhouette of a spider, and talked to them about like how to create different kinds of backgrounds and like the meaning that like the background that you create has on your work. Like if you put your spider in a bathtub or you put your spider in a city, and like that was really fun. She chose to draw a spider mom with all of her babies in the middle of a city between 2 towers hanging from a web, and they were going like to the city to see the art gallery. So I think she took all the parts of her learning there and used them, which was nice. Okay. So just cut these little ATC type cards out. These are really cute. I like watercolor elements in digitals. They're really nice. I really have a hankering to get working with my next on my next design team project from Release the Craft, and she has given me a hint of what it's going to be, and I'm excited about it. It's been like a couple of months because we have, you know, had October Daily, and also we just like took a little bit of a break because there was just a lot going on for some people on our team, and yeah, every now and then you need that time to kind of re-energize, so I will be excited. I was sort of thinking that like the feelings I had of like not necessarily creative block, but like, oh, I don't know what to make, it kind of coincided with not having that monthly like kit coming in from Release the Crafting, because I feel like, I don't know if I'm a creature of habit necessarily, but like usually I know I want to deliver on that commitment around the first of the month each month. And I think I was just like, even though I knew we were taking a break, I had this like subconscious desire to want to do something. And then I was like, well, I guess I could use another one of her kits. But then I had, which I have loads of beautiful Release the Crafting kits that I always mean to use, but I was also like looking at my digital library going like, I really need to use some of these digitals that I've purchased, because yeah, I mean, not like it, I don't feel like it's a big rush or an issue. They're not like burning a hole in my pocket like everything I have physically sitting in my studio, like all the stuff. And that's actually one really nice thing about digitals, is that like if you don't have a lot of space and you don't want to have like a ton of paper and stuff, like just print what you want when you want. That's the nice thing about digitals. Like I feel like since I got into digitals and using them, that I definitely buy like less scrapbook, like 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. First of all, because the designs of digitals are often much nicer and have such a massive range of like art styles and themes and stuff like that like I won't find in scrapbook paper. I do still buy some scrapbook paper. I also find like that some of the scrapbook paper, there's only a few sheets in the packs that I like, and then I'm kind of like, what do I do with the rest of this? Whereas if I had that problem with digital paper, it wouldn't be so much of a big deal because I could just print what I wanted. Right, is there anything else that I can cut here? Well, maybe these, the edges. And then I also find that like even with some of the big brands that are known for making paper, that are very popular, I find some of their paper can be slightly pixelated, which it was unexpected to me until I bought like my first, I think, like more designer scrapbook paper pad. It just wasn't the quality image that I was expecting from that brand, and I don't think it happens with all of the paper or all the designs, but it's like maybe the proof that they used to create that particular collection wasn't high enough resolution or something. I don't know. Or they did it as an artistic effect, but it just didn't strike me as like very, I don't know, nice and perfect. Not that I need anything to be perfect, but that is something that I try to take into consideration. That's why when I decided to start printing digitals, I've invested in 2 different printers for 2 different reasons. Which reminds me of a task that I need to complete, which is to complete my list of favorite supplies that I'm delivering to my Patreon. I'm working on it for a while, because I also just want to do like write-ups about why, like little like point form kind of stuff. Nothing, I'm not going to write a novel, I promise. Just cut all these little squares out. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with all these squares and circles yet. I'm thinking like they'll be really useful in building ephemera pockets and such. I have like an idea for one sort of style that I want to make pockets wise, and then I'll maybe make some clusters, and I might even, I'm thinking of just, maybe I'll even make a video, I don't know. I need to make more embellished paper clips. I need to probably just do some mask making videos, because that's the one nice thing when you focus on just doing one thing at a time. You like build up your supply of that one thing, and then you have them ready for your projects. I also need to get cracking on my son's Halloween costume. It's almost done, but I still have a few bits to put together. My husband was reminding me, like, last night, he's like, you know, you don't have to do all the things. People will know, you know, what he is. Don't worry. I was reading an article this morning that David Suzuki will be leaving, saying goodbye to the nature of things on CBC. So if you're Canadian, you'll know who David Suzuki is, and maybe if you're American too, you may. I don't know if they ran the nature of things on like public television, but he is like our David Attenborough kind of in Canada. That's how I guess I would liken him the most, mainly because I feel like David Attenborough and David Suzuki are like some of my biggest influences, I think, in sort of how I perceive what being a good steward of the world is. Like, and I also just want to keep them alive forever. I'm like, I don't know if you do this too, but do you have people in your in your life, or I guess I'm talking more like people that you might not even know in person on television, or you're just like, or like people in the world who are great leaders. You're like, I don't want a world without them, you know? And you're like, how do we keep this person alive forever? Kind of like how we all felt about Betty White. You know, someone is just so wonderful. Like Dolly Parton, you know, like there's just some people that they're just very special. I like this one with the turkey tail mushroom. It's so nice. I was also reading, though, that, and I've noticed it myself this year, I have not found any maitake mushrooms at all this year, which is very weird. I did get chanterelles, but I have not found any maitake, and I think it's the lack of rain, and I think it's been a weird fall. Like, it's just been a lot of warm days and kind of like normal days, but not necessarily days where there's enough rain to get that mycelium growing. And I was trying to decide, like, is it the rise in foraging or is it the weather? I don't know. Because I've seen a few trees that I've checked for maitake that, like, it looks like there was some there, but it was completely picked, which was upsetting to me, because if you're going to learn to forage, please learn to ethically forage first. You know, you take about 20% of what you see, you know, and never pick the first one. Because that's the natural food of wildlife as well, right? Leave some for others. But I don't know if it's just been that there hasn't been enough rain, because there are a lot of trees that I've been checking that have, in the past, they've been very fruitful. And then, like, I have my route that I forage, and this year it's just like there's no sign of anything. But I was reading, like, in British Columbia, where they have a big mushroom industry, that the drought's really impacting the mushroom industry there. Okay. Sorry if this is not extremely exciting. This is the reality of the behind the scenes of creating. We do a lot of this kind of thing. But it's actually very mindful, and I really enjoy it. I often just sort of sit quietly and do fussy cutting, but I also do it while I'm watching YouTube. There's a new series on, I think, Netflix, Cabinet of Curiosities, and it's a Guillermo del Toro series, and I really want to watch it. My husband just told me about it this morning, and I was like, yee! Because I love Guillermo del Toro, and I can talk. I saw his exhibit at the AGO, actually, with my daughter when she was like, well, my whole family, well, just my daughter, because my son wasn't born yet. I think I was pregnant when I went there, but it was a few years ago, and it was amazing. They had the whole Pan's Labyrinth set all set up. Oh, it was so much fun. It was amazing. I'm going to go look and see what I have in terms of circle punches. I need to find a circle punch that is bigger than this one. But I have like a really big circle, but the punch itself is awful. Like, I need a punch that is this size. So I'm going to go see if I have one. I seem to recall buying punches, but I think they were maybe hexagons. Okay, so I don't have a punch for this. I'm going to have to just cut these out old world style with scissors. Yeah, because I have, like, they are hexagons because I bought them for English paper piecing. And then, yeah, I have a small punch, two smaller than these, and then one larger. And actually, they're all terrible punches. They're like Marvy Uchida punches, which are like the worst punch ever. So I think I will just cut these out on my own. And then I'll probably start picking out papers. But yeah, this is the feel of the new journal right here, I think. This is the feeling that I'm trying to exude a little bit. Once I add more to it, I'll probably, it will change a little bit. But one thing I'm thinking about as I printed out those labels, because I want to cover the title, but I want to leave this little bit here. And so I'm thinking about adding one of these here. But now that I'm looking at it, it may be ever so small, so I might need to use something bigger and then cut a custom one myself. And I may actually just cover this entirely with something beautiful, because it's not all that interesting, and I think it would be quite lovely if I covered it like this. And I could, if I wanted to, even, I don't know, do something else, maybe with like, I have thinking to do. Clearly. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on for a little while. I'll probably do a couple videos of this journal. This is going to be a nice little smaller journal. I've been making just epically big journals lately, and I just want to make a little book, like a nice little book that is not so so large. And I think this one will probably have 4 to 5 signatures. Yeah, but I love the cover. I think it's so pretty. So that, I think, is it for me for now. So thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope you have a really good day. I am going to probably sleep in the car on the way to where I'm going today while I am a passenger. So because I am sleepy and I'm yawning now. So yeah, it's definitely time to say goodbye before I send all of you into a, coma of just hanging out with me and me boring you. So have a good day, and we will talk again very soon. Bye for now.